Hello everyone, this is Sean Power, and this is my week 3 presentation on T-Mobile's case study regarding their growth strategy. In particular, I've highlighted 6 areas and have performed an analysis, which you can read about in my tech blog at bi2.home.blog. And this presentation is being recorded for my Business Intelligence Analytics course with Dr. Samar Rashdi. Starting with my first slide here, I discuss T-Mobile's growth analysis. This is a snapshot of the 2021 Q1 performance available on T-Mobile's investor website. T-Mobile has highlighted in Q1 they've added 1.4 million net customers, and due to that they've increased their outlook, their forecast for the remainder of 2021's fiscal year. One of the ways cellular providers or telecommunication companies manage their network or increases to their customer base is by deploying more network resources. That means managing the network using more human capital as well as purchasing more network equipment. Another thing still being worked out by T-Mobile is with the recent acquisition of Sprint. The strategy team is running this growth analysis to determine how quickly they should migrate Sprint's customers to the T-Mobile network. As of right now, there's about 50% of Sprint's customer base already migrated to the T-Mobile network, and T-Mobile knows eventually they'll have to add network capacity in order to migrate the remaining customer base. Another mark of growth is the churn rate. The table shows each quarter there is steady churn. It's represented here by a somewhat stable environment. Given this information and knowing what the costs are, T-Mobile can then figure out their customer acquisition cost. And the growth analysis article goes into more detail on why a lower churn rate can benefit T-Mobile. The next slide here is the personnel analysis. I've went ahead and developed a Power BI dashboard shown here in the graphic, and this dashboard is available on the tech blog. You can interact with it using the Q&A widget on the right-hand side. Currently, due to the merger, T-Mobile has communicated a hiring freeze, and it's focused now on retaining their employees and the employee satisfaction as well as internal training. This is an example of some of the insights that an HR analytics dashboard can give T-Mobile in order to track their workforce. And in this example, you can look at a cross analysis of employee satisfaction by race and gender, therefore discovering more useful data on potential causes and effects that lead to bad turnover. The next slide discusses the operation analysis, and the graphic here on this slide depicts the customer acquisition cost by channel. In the tech blog, I go into detail on how it would benefit T-Mobile to maintain their growth strategy in online and phone acquisition, meaning they'll focus their resources and they'll develop more effective and efficient processes related to acquiring customers through their online and phone channel. They can do this by focusing more resources on making the online and phone channels experience quicker, allowing more prospective customers to enter those channels at a lower cost to T-Mobile. In the next slide here, I have a cash flow analysis. In the article on the tech blog, I show the depicted chart or table which shows the previous 5-year net operating cash flow as a percentage of sales, and you can see that it's maintained, if not steadily inclined. Another metric that I discuss in the article is free cash flow yield. It's a particularly interesting metric. Some financial analysts feel that it's more important to analyze than the income statement, and that is solved for by taking the company's free cash flow and dividing it by the market capitalization. In an article on wallstreetjournal.com, although the previous 4 years are not disclosed, in the most recent year 2020, T-Mobile has a positive 0.84% free cash flow yield. If this number was to go negative in the coming years, the company will need to change their strategy by reducing their borrowed, the issuance of debt or long-term debt until they're more in line with their sales. The next article discusses sales analysis, a hypothetical sales analysis. The information presented here is actual financial data from T-Mobile's investor site depicting the different revenue channels. I highlight in the tech blog the 176% increase in the wholesale revenue, and then go on to say how they can capitalize on that growth by focusing and expanding their offerings in that sector, particularly for small carriers who are looking to grow their own network capacities by leveraging the T-Mobile network. T-Mobile can roll out increases to their high-speed product offering that will allow small carriers to market a faster, more reliable service. So it will entice more small carriers to the T-Mobile network, buying their wholesale products. And in my last slide here, what I consider to be the most important topic of this week's learning was the risk analysis. And I've created a table shown here in Table 1. This was created using the maxi-min concept from Ken Black's textbook reading that was assigned to us for the week. And in this table here, I depict a scenario where two competing equipment manufacturers in the US are being considered for future purchase orders. And this hypothetical data examines the cost of deploying those equipment, those pieces of equipment in test markets in the US, and using the maxi-min criterion, we would select the highest number in the table here, which actually represents the lowest cost to T-Mobile to operate and deploy those resources. The worst case scenario here is actually depicted in the 75% or greater column. That would be when the equipment is being put to the test and is under the most stress due to the increase in network utilization. And the maxi-minimum strategy in this case is sort of flipped to analyze this problem in a different light. And it actually works out to where T-Mobile would choose the minimum of negative $90,000 or $90,000 in expenditures, which is a mixture of deploying both the ZTE and the Nokia product in the field. This analysis is provided to showcase how T-Mobile can go about making decisions using probabilities and statistics. And that concludes the presentation for week 3. I appreciate your time. Thank you.